Alright. Fuck. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the fuck to do for this. For this stream. So I'm just gonna be looking through YouTube things and stuff. So I found this one video. Just a second, let me close Twitter here and stream my screen. There we go. So I found this guy's video. It says Dying Light 2 is a bad game. It's obviously satire. Let's just watch it together.
Mario Kart channel, but today I decided to branch out and give you my opinion on Dimming Light 2. So Dimming Light 2 is not actually a really good game. It's kind of bad.
I'd agree.
Overall, it's
I'd agree.
It's Edge clone with zombies and guns.
I'd agree.
The entire game to even dim the light. One good thing about Dimming Light 2 is that it has 4-player co-op, so you can do parkour challenges with your buddies. Thanks to the game, I now have some parkour skills I can show off. Subscribe. Subscribe.
Hey, Michael Henderson.
Thanks, Dimming Light, for those cool moves. Maybe give it a Dimming Light 2 out of 10. Make sure you smash subscribe, tell 10 friends, and let me know what you think about the game in the comment section. Hey guys.
So yeah, I just found that. I thought it was funny. Oh my god, I keep getting fucking bots all over my channel. Jesus Christ. I just thought that video was funny. And decided I wanted to show it off for a second. Just because I'm just gonna look up on YouTube Dying Light Bad. Oh, it's just gonna show up with Dying Light Bad Blood now. Oh, fuck. Oh, also there's this guy. He talks about like the game being bad, but the thing is that this guy, it's actual legitimate concern for things that, you know, should have concern about. So let's see. The title says Dying Light 2 combat looks bad.
So guys,
let's see what he has to say.
We've been talking a lot about Dying Light 2.
This music better not be in any way copyrighted, or else I'm gonna fucking sue this guy.
Recently, a YouTuber that you're probably familiar with if you're involved in Dying Light 2, named Oni Zombies, released some new gameplay yesterday of Dying Light 2. And to be honest, it looked damn near perfect. While I don't believe the gravity values of the parkour were changed or anything, it just looked more fluid than it did in previous gameplay footage. Let me not say it was perfect, and it still is a little bit floaty, but the animations seem a lot more smooth, and it seems to integrate itself a lot better into the game. I was really...
See, we're getting good things about this. Michael Does Life is CEO of hating on Dying Light 2. Yep, pretty much. I saw somebody on Twitter earlier that was asking for, unironically asking for console gameplay in the comments on one of Dying Light's posts. It was the one for, I think it was the one for the language compatibility, and the guy, this person commented, where something about like where's console gameplay, and I commented back with watching too much Michael Does Life and not paying attention to your surroundings, huh?
Really excited while I was
anyway,
watching
let's continue to see what this guy has to say.
See for yourself. But it looked like the jumps were faster. It looked like the vaulting and the climbing were all just a little bit sped up. I don't know the reason for this, but since this is the most recent gameplay, I'm going to assume this is what we're going to work with for the final release. With all that being said, though, a bigger problem became very apparent. And I mean, it's truly worrying. The combat seems to be incredibly disconnected. And the reason I'm saying...
It does. Another thing that I realized is the stamina bar seems to be complete and utter bullshit. It's like sometimes when you use the far jump, it uses up half your stamina. Sometimes it doesn't use any. Sometimes when you just simply pull out your weapon, it uses your entire fucking stamina bar. It's ridiculous. I think that the stamina bar is just like bugged out or something. The combat did look kind of weird because like sometimes you know you'd hit a zombie a couple times and you know it would die, and then you'd hit another zombie a couple times and it would still be at half health. Another thing that I realized is that the gore seems to be pretty broken. Because, yeah, you can, you know, chop things in half and chop their heads off. But, like, I noticed whenever Oni would chop, like, a dead body in half of the body would just poof out of existence. So, yeah, those are my concerns for the game. Let's hope that they're fixed by the time it comes out. Let's continue this
now
video.
is because the most recent gameplay we saw from Oni Zombies has multiple occasions where it does not look like the melee combat is there. I know everyone's going to be commenting, oh, you haven't played the game, you don't know how it feels yet. Yeah, that's completely true. I have not played the game. That is true. However, I do know even when watching Dying Light 1, the combat looked good, and it felt damn good too. Let me show you guys a couple examples. Here we see 2 swings on the zombie on the ground. It just seems very unreactive, really bland. The swings don't really seem on your screen like they're even hitting the zombie. Look at this clip here as Aiden swings. It almost completely misses the zombie. Doesn't look like...
Ooh, yeah, that is definitely a a problem there. Just like that's noticed that a lot in more recent video games. Actually, even in Dying Light 1, that happens. Like if you the auto aim in Dying Light 1 is kind of annoying because like when you're shooting a bow or crossbow in Dying Light 1, you could completely miss, but it'd still hit the zombie or enemy.
Like it's connecting at all, but still hits. This is how most zombie games operate, but not Dying Light 1. It just now looks as if the swing animation and the zombie reaction animation are just completely different instead of seamlessly integrated. We saw this in previous gameplay, and now we're seeing it again in the most recent gameplay. I was very surprised to see the combat so visually downgraded from the first game. I mean, the first game literally got it completely right in every way. When you swung a baseball bat or a pipe at someone, you could feel it hitting their jaw and just connecting through the swing. Honestly, that's why Dying Light is like no other zombie game. That melee combat is peak. But the footage I just showed you genuinely has me worried if it's going to feel weird. Maybe it's just certain weapons. Even the ragdolling of the zombies, like I mentioned, also feels kind of off. It doesn't feel like they're fully responding and reacting.
That's a funny picture. The ragdolling and stuff, the physics, the body physics, ragdoll physics in this game are absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, I think that they're ridiculous in a good way because I love ridiculous body physics, you know, Gary's mod, stuff like that, but you know, it's also kind of annoying at the same time.
To the amount of force and damage you put into it. Like I said in 2 videos ago, these were the only 2 worries. It looks like the parkour is getting there. It looks like it's actually you know, pretty decent now. But is the combat arguably more important? It's definitely close to the parkour. Also, over the last 2 videos, there's been a lot of comments and concerns about the game that I kind of want to respond to, so you guys have a little bit of an opinion in the videos too. So Revenant said, when are we going to talk about the health bars in Dying Light 2? Literally not a problem. The health bars have already been confirmed.
Yeah, it's already been confirmed that turn off the health bars.
They can be disabled in the settings, so no need to worry
about health bars. In fact, in Oni's gameplay, the health bars are disabled.
Moved easily. Shulk said you can change low gravity parkour in settings. Now that would be dope to be able to have a setting to switch between, you know, the old parkour and the faster parkour, but I doubt it because that would change the gameplay significantly. But if anyone knows if this is true, let me know. Aiden is apparently an athlete, so higher jumps would explain stuff. I've heard people talk about Aiden being a superhuman and stuff, and that's kind of like their explanation for him being able to do this crazy stuff. At the end of the day, it's a video game, so it doesn't really matter. Hellcat said this parkour will ruin night gameplay completely. The chases wouldn't feel the same in the first game, which sucks because it was really good in case of night mode. A lot of people in the comments have been discussing this. People are saying that because of the slower and floatier parkour, the chases at night won't be to the same caliber that they were in the first game. It doesn't really feel like you're truly full sending it, because when you're jumping, you're just kind of floating there. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to affect the game, really. But it is something to look out for. But in this gameplay with Oni Zombies, I thought it looked pretty fine, and it was still scary and tense. So I think
yeah,
it's okay.
I'd still personally shit my pants.
Who says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks the combat is too connective. It always seems like when you try to do a move, you teleport to the move. Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about. I wouldn't say anything's wrong with the animations. I'd just say the connection between the animations is off. I don't know how hard this is to fix or even change, but it is really, really worrying that the combat might not feel good. But like I've said in the last 2 videos, we're just going to have to see. Guys, I want to know what you think of the combat.
He brought up a lot of good points. Right there, it's nice. It's a nice little change, nice little change of pace from usual. Because usually people are just complaining about Dying Light 2. Let's see if we can find something here. Why I'm worried about Dying Light 2's branching paths. Alright. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Dying Light 2 is probably one of the most ambitious games that's intending to release this year. It's been in development for God knows how long at this point, and it was first revealed 4 years ago. And after that initial release date or announcement in 2018, the game has been shown off, it's been teased, it's been talked about, it's been mentioned. Techland has done a very good job of introducing us to the world, the characters, the mechanics, and what they're changing and improving from the original into the sequel. Now, the original Dying Light isn't anything I would call a truly fantastic game. It's a bit by the numbers, it's a bit generic, but for what it was, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Alright. That's a much different opinion than what I usually hear when people are talking about Dying Light 1. But let's give this guy the benefit of the doubt. People can have their own opinions, right?
I've played through it a bunch of different times, sometimes solo, sometimes co-op. I've had good fun with it. I would call it a pretty solid game. But there is one major thing about the second game that has me worried, and it has me worried in every single game I see it in, no matter if it's being developed by the smallest, teeniest indie team in existence, or if it's being tackled by a Goliath of the industry like Rockstar Games themselves. And that thing is a quote-unquote branching storyline in which player action changes the outcome of the story. Now, that alone is extraordinarily difficult to properly achieve in video games that are on the scale of something like, say, Undertale, where it is a small, linear game with a set story that you will always approach in the same way, and then the choices that you make on that linear path will change the outcome, right? It gets 75 quadrillion times harder the bigger the scale gets, and Dying Light 2 is slated to be massive. And every single thing they have said about the game just implies larger scale. Articles talking about, you know, all of the major choices will impact not just an area, but the whole city. The city constantly evolves. We've got, 400,000 lines of written text and 40,000 lines of dialogue. And with that many characters and that much writing and that much dialogue and that many conversations, how many of them are actually going to factor into the story themselves? Because we had another super ambitious open world action adventure game that came from a Polish game development studio. You might have heard of it, Cyberpunk 2077. And
there it is. There it is. The fucking comparison to Cyberpunk 2077 and that they're both Polish developers. Listen, I'm gonna be straight up here. It is not some sort of crazy ass conspiracy. Like I said in my previous video, the stupidest conspiracies, like fucking Illuminati existing, I think I would believe you more if you said that the Illuminati was real than if you said that Dying Light 2 is going to be the new Cyberpunk just because it's made by a Polish developer like CD Projekt Red. Because that is complete and utter bullshit. Cyberpunk! Yeah, Cyberpunk is the worst game ever. It's terrible. Every other game that since it has been cursed to rubble. I sound like fucking Goofy there.
One of the biggest problems people had with Cyberpunk 2077 was all of those tens of thousands of lines of dialogue that you had all across Night City. 98% of them were useless filler fluff choices that didn't alter the outcome of the game whatsoever. So that's kind of one of the big problems that I'm worried about Dying Light 2 having, is the idea that it is so big and it has so many gears and so many things moving in tandem that it can't properly juggle these altering decisions. Because usually what happens with these...
I can't speak. That is actually a good point, though. Because it is difficult to, you know, make all those choices mean something. I mean, from what we've seen, I mean, just like the last gameplay, like the gameplay from Oni Zombies, you can basically choose whether Damien jumps off a building or not and kills himself. Like, you never know if you choose the options to have him survive, he might give you another quest or give you something special, a special item, or be a big part of the main story. So, yeah.
Sorts of games where they have city-altering choices is they will have a narrative thread, right, that you will have a bunch of decisions in, and then you'll get to the finale of that narrative thread, and then there'll be a cut-off point where, say, you're in a region, right, and you do the quests for that region, it changes that region. You fight the villain for that region, and it changes that region. And then when you leave that region and go into a new district of the city, or you start up a new quest line that is disconnected from that previous one as you progress the story, all of those changes don't actually matter, and it's just linked to that region. No one's going to be like, oh, the way you took care of this one, say if there's the big 5 of enemies, right, just as a generic example, if you take care of the big 5's first member in a specific way, no one in region 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to have any knock-on effect from how that was handled. That's usually how these things go. But,
for
the sake of fairness, I will say, just because a lot of games fail to do this does not make it suddenly impossible for any game to do this.
Alright, there we go. That is a good point. That is a good point. This is a very good point.
There is a very, very high chance that Techland have hit the nail on the head. Another example of games that do story choices pretty well to culminate towards an ending, I think, is The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 has quite a lot of endings, right? It has quite a lot of variations in its endings.
The Outer Worlds does it well.
Unlike, you know,
because in the Outer Worlds, you could just fucking kill everybody. And that, you know, that affects how the game ends. Well, not actually how the game ends, but it affects the characters in the game, at least.
Cyberpunk 2077, they're not decided by what dialogue option you pick right before the final mission. The endings that you get in The Witcher 3 are widely decided by how you choose to interact with certain characters at key points in the storyline. There is a lot of choices littered throughout The Witcher 3 that change different endings. Another great example of this is Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas, when it comes to its main endings, it's got a bunch of them, and then it's got, I think, basically thousands of combinations of different character and quest and faction storylines that all culminate and end in different ways. So it's not impossible to have this branching storyline with.
And the thing is that Dying Light 2 has been being worked on for, like, what, 6 years? So, you know, there's a good chance that they've done it, you know, just because of how long it's been being worked on.
Things.
Then again, they did have to like rewrite the story.
Seen it done before. It's just extraordinarily hard, and it is a very, very precarious and very dangerous tightrope to attempt to walk with game development, to try and have that dynamic, breathing world that changes in a meaningful way by the player's action. Because for every fucking Witcher 3 and every Fallout New Vegas, you get a Fallout 3 and a Fallout 4. You get a Skyrim. You get a game that has choices in there that don't account for how the players handled previous substance or quest subjects. They don't account for your alignment, they don't account for your karma, they don't count for previous choices, and whatever decision you've made, normally they'll just either not acknowledge it, lock you out of making a choice because that's not what the quest line wants you to do, or they'll just hand wave whatever you've done beforehand and then give you clear karma or forget that you killed another member of their faction for no reason other than they just need you to continue this quest. That's the kind of thing I'm worried that Dying Light 2 is going to be. I'm very, very worried it's going to fall into that trap of every bottom-of-the-barrel, generic Bethesda.
You know, it could happen, and that's sort of scary to think about. But I'm going into Dying Light 2 with a very optimistic attitude. I'm saying that it's going to be a great game. It's going to be they're going to do it well.
Their RPG.
I mean, the thing is that so many people have played the game already and stuff, like Jonas Scott, everybody, have said that the game is great and that the choices do fucking matter. And the thing is that, like, especially with Jonas Scott, he's the voice of the main protagonist. He's the voice of the guy that you play as. Why would he tarnish his entire reputation and say that the game is this way if it's not, you know? That's just my take.
Made after, like, fucking Morrowind, where they don't react to what the player does, and Bethesda have a set-in-stone story they want to tell that doesn't have a lot of wiggle room for the player's choices. So, all in all, I don't want to say I'm expecting Dying Light 2 to be complete garbage, because I'm not. The first one was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The second one, from how transparent and willing to show things off that Techland has been with it, with how trusting they've been, their communication, I'm hoping and optimistic that the game is going to be good. It's coming out in, what, 2-3 weeks at this point? I'm definitely going to be playing it.
Less than 2 weeks.
Hopefully I'm going to be enjoying it. I'll keep you guys updated on what I think of it.
They picked the perfect voice actor. Yeah, Jonas Scott is a great voice actor. The one thing, I don't know, this is just my opinion, to me, the face of Aiden doesn't, like, really fit with Jonah's voice. The character that Aiden is fits with Jonah's voice, but, like, I don't know, just something about like Aiden's character, like, model, like his face and stuff, it doesn't seem like it really fits that well. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's, you know, hard to fit a fake character's voice with a real person.
If I'm enjoying it, if I recommend it. But with that out of the way, I want to turn it over to you guys and ask you what you think. Do you think Techland's going to be able to walk? I
think that they're gonna be able to do it, honestly. All right, let's see what other kind of stuff. Oh, this is other gameplay. I'll have to watch that later. I'm not gonna watch that on stream. Game sins. Everything wrong with Dying Light. That guy. Oh my god, another Michael Does Life. Another one. Let's see what he has to say.
It's so incredibly sad. It really is. Believe me, it's so incredibly sad. The saddest that it's ever been. Dying Light 2 has hit the bottom of the ocean floor, and Techland seemingly doesn't care because, well, they have your pre-order locked in. You know, today, as of this recording, they showed a brand new behind-the-scenes video of the Dying to Know filming process, production process. And it's a spit in the face. It's an insult to my intelligence because that video is longer than the gameplay that we got for old-gen consoles and console gameplay in general. How you can...
Listen, man, anything is an insult to this guy's intelligence. Just a simple, coherent sentence is an insult to this guy's intelligence.
Defend this, I don't understand. Never will. But I know one thing. You don't care. Quality isn't your concern. And believe me, it's because you were too busy going...
There it is. Let's see, has he uploaded any new, any other ones besides that one? Yeah, a couple. See, the thing is that I'm happy about. Is at least he is, for the most part, taking my advice. Look at how many live streams there are compared to the actual just regular videos. Because, yeah, there's the regular videos, but for the most part, recently, he's been doing live streams. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I have kind of just, like, given him... I have been kind of enabling him, haven't I? Because I've been keeping on talking about his shit. And he just keeps making it, and it gets him so many views, and it, like, makes him money, you know? Anyway, let's watch him anyway.
You just can't help but wonder what went so unequivocally wrong with Dying Light 2, and what
At least he doesn't sound like Donald Trump anymore.
can Techland do to pull that curtain back in a way that makes sense? Folks, let me remind you, as of this recording, we're 18 days away from the launch of Dying Light 2, and in terms of gameplay, specifically on old-gen hardware, we have about 20 seconds worth of PlayStation 4 footage. Whatever that means, it could mean base PS4, it could mean PlayStation 4 Pro, but we have 20 seconds worth of old generation footage running on PlayStation 4, and within that 20 seconds worth of footage, we have 11 cuts. And you mean to tell me that you're satisfied, that you're confident that Dying Light 2 is going to release in a way that makes sense? This is the next Cyberpunk, and if you can't...
Ah, yes. Similar marketing tactics. Game is gonna be terrible because they marketed similarly.
see that, it's because you don't want to see that, because you love bending over backwards for these multi-million-dollar corporations. They tell you what you want to hear.
How much is Techland worth? I mean, I know it's probably a... How much... Fuck. I mean... Techland isn't, like, a massive, huge... company. People also ask, is Dying Light 2 cancelled? Alright, I don't know what I'm... Zloty, is that like the Polish currency? I'm guessing so.
But when they're reluctant to showcase this off in a way that makes sense, well, that's so incredibly sad. It's over. But you really don't care, do you?
Why did he do that?
And that's because you were too busy going...
So why did he like drop a handkerchief in front of his face? Alright, let's see this one too.
You know, you really can't help but wonder.
Oh, wow, okay. At least he's putting something different in his videos, but then again, he doesn't have his shirt on properly.
So unequivocally wrong with Dying Light 2. And more importantly, what can Techland do in order to resurrect that ship that has seemingly, somehow, some way, already hit the bottom of the ocean floor? Folks, Dying Light 2 is quite clearly going to be the next Cyberpunk. And I know that's not what people want to hear. Believe me, I don't want to hear that myself either. But you look at the reality of the situation, and all of the stars are pointing to that being very much so the case. And here we are about 17 days away from release, and we only have about 20 seconds of footage worth of old generation console gameplay. And you mean to tell me that that's...
The thing is that the worst part about his videos is that, once again, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to reiterate the reiterated. He keeps reiterating his points in every video, because the thing is that his lifestyle here depends on making like at least one of these videos a day. And the thing is that there's not always new news every day. So if there isn't new news, then he has to reuse. Wow, that rhymed really fucking well. It's almost uncanny. This guy is the new Cyberpunk because I made a rhyme out of insulting him.
All that needs to be showed off? No, believe me. They're hiding this because they don't want you to see the reality.
Fuck, I
They're
drank all
hiding
my
this
water.
because, well, they don't want it to cannibalize potentially those pre-orders. It's all about those pre-orders. It's all about keeping people satisfied and telling them what they want to hear, but they're reluctant to show for a reason. And the longer this goes on, well, the more apparent it becomes that Dying Light 2 isn't worth your money. But of course you don't care because you're too busy going...
He didn't put his shirt over his head that time. Cancelled! I'm canceling him for not putting his shirt over his head that time. People say he's a troll. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But that doesn't make it any less easy for me to insult him, so I'm still going to. 6 years ago, review Dying Light, another bad zombie RPG. Ah! Alright, that music came out of fucking nowhere. I'm gonna skip this part.
Gentlemen, and welcome to Season 2 of The Investigator. I've got a lot of bullshit, third-rate, cockamamie, dick-sucking, ass-munching, shovelware games to review this year.
Jesus Christ, this is an intense intro.
But none so highly awaited with curiosity as Techland's Dying Light. For those of you who aren't in the loop, Dying Light was made by the same developer behind the controversial zombie franchise, Dead Island. Yes, the very same Dead Island from my Dead Island Riptide review. Remember how I loved that game? In any case, Dead Island was controversial for two reasons. Number one, critics hated it, and number two, false advertising, guys. False fucking advertising. Honestly, when...
False advertising? It's a cinematic trailer. Oh my god. Also, who gives a shit what critics think anymore? Why would you listen to critics? Like, what kind of dumbass goes on to Metacritic and listens to the reviews given by the Metacritic critics? You listen to the people who've played the game, like just ordinary people, not dumbasses who just want to complain.
When Dying Light was announced, I thought it was going to be a sequel or perhaps a successor to Dead Island. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Dying Light is a brand...
Unfortunately? He said he hated the game, and now he's like, unfortunately, this isn't another one. I'm gonna have to, like, fucking... There's so many bots here. I'm gonna have to, like, try to make it so then you can't say, like, fucking periods in my chat, because they always have periods.
New franchise, and Dead Island is a continuing franchise, with a sequel coming out soon. Yay. The plus side to this news is that Techland started from scratch with this game, like a batch of cookies. They promised to deliver that tense, story-driven survival game that we've been asking for all those years, ever since Dead Island disappointed the living shit out of us. Did they succeed with Dying Light? Let's take a look.
Alright.
Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a few things I remember from Dead Island. First of all, it was not scary, not intense, and really gave you no reason to believe you were surviving the zombie horde on your own wits. It featured near constant and highly repetitive melee combat that seemed to never fucking end. Dying Light, on the other hand, is more conscientious about its gameplay style. There's far, far more control over the skills of your character.
Yeah.
And making quick decisions like which building to scale, where it's safe to travel, and what combat style you should be using is a huge part of the game's time. For the first 6 or 7 hours,
say something stupid so then I can make fun of you.
And exposed. I died a lot due to my own error and eventually built the skills necessary to survive more and more effortlessly. running on rooftops, scaling tall buildings, finding a safe house when the night is approaching. All of it becomes intensely fluid the longer you play this game. The only problem is, around hour 10 or 12, things just kinda, drop down a bit. And that halfway decent survival theme we were spending several hours building, yeah, it gives way to pretty much just action and gunplay for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad, though. I mean, how many hours do I have on Dying Light? Let me see. Alright, if Steam would open, then I'd see. Alright, I guess Steam isn't opening. Oh, wait, there we go.
But is that...
Let's see, on Dying Light, I have 224 hours. What? I want my... computer is having a stroke, and so am I.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love survival games, and we need a whole lot more of them. But doesn't it get kind of boring playing the same survival game for 10 or more hours? Eventually, I do find myself wanting a break and wanting some...
I've played 224 hours of Dying Light. I have not gotten bored.
Fast-paced material to get my adrenaline going again. And that, my friend, is why Dying Light's campaign gets a thumbs up from me. It builds your skills and your patience with 6 to 8 hours of pretty cautionary gameplay, and then it just kind of takes off the training wheels and lets you go bananas for the last half of the game. I mean, yeah, the parkour and free running are really well designed, and yes, the combat has never been more entertaining, and yeah, even the shooting is better. But in the end, what really impressed me was the mix of both worlds Dying Light achieves. It may not be that super deep survival RPG we all dream of playing, but in the end, it brings enough to the party for both worlds. And by the way, I'm sure you've already noticed that it looks a hell of a lot better than Dead Island. Which is expected. I mean, it is a fully next-generation game, and God knows we need more of those. It even runs fabulous on the PC. Well, for the most part anyways. I had the game running at 30 to 40 frames per second with max settings, but when I disabled this one option, HBAO+, I immediately started getting a smooth 60. So I would recommend you do just that. Don't worry though, HBAO is not a deal breaker. It honestly is pretty hard to notice a difference. You probably won't miss it. But what about the narrative side? I mean, that was the weakest link with Dead Island, clearly. And it's a hard business to master. But you'd be surprised what you can pull off when you have a central protagonist who actually talks. That's right, we have a central...
He's not saying anything stupid. I've gotta escape. He's not saying anything stupid, so I can't make fun of him. No, stop showing me Michael Does Life. I'm trying to find more insults. I'm trying to find more people insulting the game. But I'm not finding it. Crane is the best. Crane is awesome. I can't find any. Can't find any more people insulting the game. How do I... Or where is more insult? Right, hold on, I'm gonna look for something. Let's see, let's go to... I'm gonna see the... Can I, like... sort by negative? Oh, God. Try searching Dying Light is the worst. Well, we got a couple of videos we saw already, and we got Michael Does Life. Worst Dying Light players. Bad game design. You know, let's see this. Okay, I don't give a shit about your intro.
Bad game design. I need to get to the top of that bridge to get some light bulbs for a mission. And there's two doors up there I can see on the left and right hand sides, so I thought, okay, I need to get up there. I can't use the doors that are on the ground level, so I thought, well, surely the only way up then is doing it GTA San Andreas style, so I thought I'd go up this support beam up here. But I was thinking, this surely can't be the way up. It doesn't feel right, but it looks like it will get me up there, so...
You climb the pillars. You just straight up climb the pillars. If you don't have the grappling hook. If you have the grappling hook, just use the grappling hook.
I'm gonna make a move. I'm gonna speed up the next part because it took a while.
I'm gonna mute that music. Not just because I'm not risking copyright, but also I don't like that music. I guess that did work.
I'm thinking all I have to do is grab hold of that ledge, if it will let me, shimmy around the corner, and I'll be at a platform where one of the red doors was. Okay, so far so good. It's ready to grab hold of this. Just making sure I can go around the corner here.
How is this bad game design?
Check my landing. And drop. Okay, so that wasn't so hard. See if I can use this. Nope. Have a look down there. Try and open the door. Oh, it won't let me open the door. Okay, I guess you can't go in there then. Alright, must be the other door. Okay, I'll try and use this cable here to shimmy across. Nope. Won't let me grab hold of it.
Yeah, you just climb up.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go up the support beams on the other side. Although down there it looks like I can climb up the it looks like I can climb up the pillar.
Yep,
so figured,
that's what you're supposed to do.
And I'm going to see if I can climb up that big pillar and get to the other door. Failing that, I was going to go up one of those support beams to get even higher up to the top. But I thought, okay, can I jump from here to this zip wire and then grab hold of it? Yes. I'll speed up the next part.
How is this bad game
long
design?
And boring. It was just me picking some locks.
How is this bad game design? Like, in what way is this bad game design?
I'll take that, and I'll take that. I heard one of these gas zombies, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and hit his tank and get him to explode. Because that is fun.
Uh-huh. I don't see how this is bad game design.
Right.
What is this video? It's a bad game design, Dying Light, by Harper LARP. It has 3K views. It's from 2015.
Now to see if I can climb up this huge pillar here. See, I thought I could because I could see these bits I'm on now. I could see those bits from up by the other door, so I figured, maybe that's the way up.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's the way up to get to the door that's above me now, because obviously the door on the other side can't be opened. I mean, you saw me. I went up there, couldn't open the door. So the only logical solution would be that I have to get to this door. Sure enough, there's some more climbing places around here.
Yeah, you just climb up the whole thing.
Probably could do with speeding this bit up, but it's too late now. I was just looking.
Also, you have to do this at
See
night.
the name of the bridge, because I think this is the bridge you have to jump off at night time for a trophy. But it doesn't tell you what the name of the bridge is. Okay. So
Yeah, it's called the Infamy Bridge.
Keep maneuvering my way around. And here we are. A door I should be able to open. Nope.
Nope,
I
because
can't
that's
open
not how
either
you
door.
do it.
Okay. Maybe I can use this cable from this side?
Nope, because
I'll
that's
give it a
not how you
go.
do it.
Any minute now. Oh, it works from this side. Oh, and the door comes open as well if you use the zip wire. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm saying when I say it's bad game design. I was able to get up here. Whee! Sucker. I was able to get up here using my own ingenious by climbing up the support cable or whatever it was.
Okay, so he's just saying that it's bad game design because he failed at doing something properly. So the game is bad because he didn't do something properly.
But I wasn't able to open the door because I didn't get up here their way. I had to go round and use a puzzle they created when I found a way to bypass it. And I thought that was bullshit, quite frankly, so there you go.
Well, that's because that's how games are made. You know what? That was the biggest waste of 5.5 minutes ever. Oh, well, there's critical. Oh my god, Dylan in the details made another video. Here we go, boys!
World premiere.
Let's see what Dylan has to say in this one.
Please welcome narrative designer Chris Avalo.
Chris Avallone in June of 2020 was accused by 3 people of sexual misconduct and harassment. So at the end of the day, this man is gone.
Whether he did it or not is not up to me. The truth is, he's the lead narrative designer, and he is gone.
Not anymore.
Hi, I'm Chris Avallone, and I'm excited to be working with Techland to create the world of Dying Light 2. Today, however, we want to give you a look at one of the impressive new features of Dying Light 2, a technical and narrative advancement for the franchise. Dying Light 2 will be the first in its genre where your choices have genuine consequences in the game itself. From how it looks, how it plays, to the events that occur, everything in the game world can change based on your...
I swear, if when it shows Jonah and he makes fun of Jonah, I'm going to scream.
Decision.
How many times have we heard this statement and been burned, lied to?
The following demo throws a bit more light on this.
Right out of the gate, at E3 2018 during the world premiere with the Xbox One logo on the screen, guys. The truth of the matter is this game has completely changed or been dialed back so far, it is unimaginable that is even close to this.
I think that the game looks so much better than it did in 2018. Like, when you look at the 2018, 2019, whatever gameplay, it just doesn't look so good, honestly.
On the Xbox One, it is unimaginable that it's even going to be competent enough to run at a smooth 30. I mean, let's get real here. This has changed so drastically that what I'm about to show you is going to be a reflection of the times we are living in. 2021 was terrible. 2022 seems to be just getting worse.
It undertakes a mission for the peacekeepers.
Well, I mean, Dying Light 2 is coming out this year, so I think it's going to be a decent year at least. At least one good game, right?
One of the
Anyway,
many
fuck
factions,
this guy.
many factions active in the city.
On December 2nd, 2021, Dying to Know Episode 5 showed us just a small singular glimpse at the choice paths you can make, and it looks like there are only 2 paths now. This seems like a complete step backwards.
Well, he's actually friends with... Yeah, I know. I know, he's just jumping on the trend train, right?
Let's take a quick look at a platform comparison video put together by a few of the devs.
Techland appears to know what they're doing when it comes to the production, but look at how they've downgraded their trailers. There's red arrows over them. They're inside a screen, a video, a clip inside of a screen. Harder to see. It's got text over it. Look, these people know what they're doing, and they are not doing this without doing it on purpose. Either somebody terrible has taken over and stepped in, or...
Yes, these tiny little texts are covering the entire screen. You can't see any of this. Like, this is impossible to see. I'm sorry, it's just terrible. That this whole screen that's bigger than a phone, it's just too difficult to see. Gonna compare this to Cyberpunk? Of course he is. It's basically impossible for people not to in a video like this now, right?
I tell you this, they're trying to hide things from you on the previous...
But the fact that he's gone almost 3 minutes without making the Cyberpunk comparison is a huge upgrade, because usually it's the first thing people fucking say.
Generation consoles, because they know it's not optimized there, and it's going to have to really chug and run hard as shit to make sure it even goes.
I wonder how it feels.
It feels a whole lot like Cyberpunk 2077.
There it is!
Really hit it.
There it is! Literally 20 seconds later, after we're talking about it. I'll be right back. Alright. I'm back. Let's see what else Dylan has to say.
For you guys, maybe this will.
And this is just a single decision, one out of hundreds you will have to make. But it allows you to carve out your own world. Each player's game experience will be unique.
And that was just a glimpse of how complex the branching storyline in Cyberpunk 2077 can get. Every decision you make will have consequences. Your choices will shape how the world reacts to you and affect your relation.
Like I said earlier, games have to be marketed a specific way. Similar marketing strategies do not make the games the same.
With those around you.
So let's just get down to those brass tacks. Does Dylan and the Details hate Dying Light in Techland? No, I loved Dying Light. I even thought the Call of Juarez was pretty good for what it was. But let's get down to it. They've also made terrible games like Call of Juarez, The Cartel. They've changed their team significantly. The creative direction of Dying Light 2 changed so drastically that they changed the title. Used to just be Dying Light 2, now it's Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
Well, it's because it's called Stay Human because you have to stay human. They added 2 words, and this guy is like, this is way too off of the original directive path. This is terrible. This is a travesty to humankind. They added 2 words to make the gameplay make more sense.
Probably so they don't look bad when they change a bunch of these choices, particularly these narrative bends that take you down different roads. Forks in the roads lead you in different directions. Everyone's game will be their experience. Only you will experience Dying Light the way that you experience it. That, to me, is one of the biggest fallacies I've ever heard. It's just a distruth. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people play video games? My main concern for this game is the previous gen gameplay. How it runs on the last gen dictates how things go moving forward, because we're not really into the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series SX generation just yet. We have a little ways to go, and I tell you, I can't wait to see it.
Actually, I mean, most of console gamers and shit play on PS5 now, but okay.
But right now, we're seriously not in the next generation. Every time someone brings this up to me, I have to reiterate the facts, because how many games are even out for these consoles? Not too many. Either way, the point of these consoles seems to be running these unoptimized games, where on the previous generation, they have so much trouble they can't even go. They can't even maintain a frame rate. They can't even have an open world that has, oh my god, actual limitless potential, where, you know, you can do the same quest forever, but still, there's something in it for you. There's always something in it for you. I seriously doubt it's going to be that. I bet it's going to be collecting string. Okay? I bet it's going to be collecting string! And here's what I'll tell you. That 500 hours bullcrap that they presented to us. I think you're going to be spending 500 hours collecting string. 80 of those hours might be filled with something of significance, but I think it comes down to a lot less than that. Because if you're talking about substance and spreading it throughout this huge, massive open world project, where your decisions matter, every gamer's gameplay matters to...
Sorry, I'm not saying anything. I'm just completely speechless at this guy's idiocy.
them, and only them, oh my god, every gamer's experience will be unique. I've never heard something so crazy in all my mind. I mean, technically every game is kind of our own experience, right? We, the perceiver, judge that which we play, and we play it how we want to play it in our mind, okay? I'm thinking they cut down the choice path to like 2 different factions. Back in the day, there may have been 3 to 4 or 5, but now I think it's come down to this. With the way they presented the game years ago.
You know, the thing is that, yeah, the game has changed, and it's dialed back, but the thing is that it seems like it should run fine. on old gen. And the thing is that I feel like they were getting a bit ahead of themselves before, and they realized that, and they've dialed it back because they realized they can't handle doing what they said they were going to do in the beginning, especially because of how COVID happened. And can I even say COVID on YouTube? I don't know, but I don't give a shit. All of the things with their team and stuff, that was out of their control. People seem to act like COVID and the team being fucked up is completely their fault. Like, everything bad that has happened in the development, like during the development of this game, has been all completely everybody in Techland's fault. It's like, it's not. It's hurdles that they've jumped over by now. And then these guys just keep complaining about it because they have nothing else to say but reiterate the same points that they've been reiterating for even years now.
Go with that 28 minutes of footage, oh my god. So in-depth and detailed, and really, I mean, Jesus, that looked next-gen to me. The fact that I heard this was coming to current-gen consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, all the family within, I can't believe that they would ever achieve what I saw on that screen, where you're in the van, you drive to the castle, you make the decision, and you drain the swamp, you drain the area, and zombies start coming out of it. Now, from what I can tell, the same choices are still there, the same game is still there in a way, but they've only shown us one little slice of this game, one little piece, one little...
Yeah, exactly, because they don't want to spoil the whole fucking game. Just like, they're not gonna be like, alright, the game comes out in, a month, guys, we're just gonna show you an entire playthrough. It's just like, no, that's bullshit. They're not gonna do that, that's
telling us
spoiling.
That they're worried about spoilers, that's a lie, first and foremost. Spoilers? Are you kidding me? They'll be out before the game is even out. Don't even... You...
How could people spoil the game when they haven't played it yet? People can make assumptions about where the story can go, but nobody knows until they've played it. I mean, the thing is that, yeah, spoilers will come very quickly. After the game comes out, you're not going to be able to go onto the internet for a while until you're done playing through the game, right? But still,
You can quote me on that one right there. This game comes out, the spoilers there day one. As someone who wants to see Dying Light succeed and continue to grow for players of generations to come, I gotta say that I am in dire need of Xbox One based gameplay. Now, they said it's coming, but I don't care what they say anymore because they do the same thing.
The thing is with this guy is that he probably has an Xbox Series X and a PS5 and a monster PC, but he's complaining. This is literally the exact same thing as like whenever white people would complain about a TV show having a white person playing a black character. It's literally the same thing. It's not your place even to complain because this guy he definitely doesn't play all his games on an Xbox One. That's 100% sure. To be fair, the PS4 is probably going to sound like an airplane. Yeah. Yeah, but it's an old gen console. What do you expect, That's the thing, is that we're talking about a newer generation game on an old gen console. What the fuck do you expect is going to happen? Like, it makes sense that it might not run that well because it's newest graphics on older consoles. It's obviously not going to run as well because that's just how common sense works.
CD Projekt Red did. They do the same thing. Talk nonstop, show very little, never tell it like it is, kind of keep us out of the loop. right? We're kind of out of the loop as gamers. With the game's release date less than 20 days away now, I can honestly say this, that this is going to be one of those situations that I am so cautious on, and I am pleading with everyone to be cautious, but I can't force knowledge into your head, so at the end of the day...
Yeah, sadly, I can't force knowledge into this guy's head either, so I can't force the knowledge of common sense into dumbasses' heads. Which is very sad, because people without common sense are basically the equivalents of, for the most part, people without common sense are the equivalents of human scum. Yeah.
It's your choice. Do you...
Honestly, if I was them, scrap the old gen versions and focus on new gen. Yeah. Honestly. I mean, that's the thing, is that the only people that should even give a shit is people who have old gen consoles, right? And the thing is that people who are, you know, poor and can't afford the newest generation consoles and technology might not even be able to afford to get the game, which is sad. But the thing is that gives people like this guy even less of a reason to even give a shit. The only reason why this guy is saying this right now is because it makes him money. It makes him money. He gets money from people viewing his videos, right? So he wants to make sure that he makes up as much bullshit as he can. Sorry for bad grammar. It's alright, it's alright.
You want to pre-order a potentially broken game with an open world that's just so damn useless and meaningless and empty? It's just gonna be the rooftops now, isn't it? It's just gonna be the rooftops. Ooh, but you got gangs in the streets.
Ooh boy, it's almost like you can't go in almost every building. Jesus Christ. This guy, the thing is that it's hard to even tell if he means this, or if he's just saying it because he wants the clout, right? Which, either way, it's working, right?
Dylan, I am done, okay? This game, if it's fine, believe me, I will come back and apologize. But I have put down my chips, and I say it's gonna run like ass on the previous generation consoles, what I call the current generation consoles, because we are still stuck. The way Sony says, oh my god, we're gonna keep releasing games forever. And on the other side, you got Phil Spencer saying, you know, buy the Series S. Which, yeah, it's a great console, but let's get real here. Where's the games? With Stalker 2 delayed now, I don't know where we're going. But there is some crazy news that just happened that I'll talk about in another video. Entirely different. What I can tell you is this right now.
What is the news?
Dying Light 2 Stay Human to me is one of these projects that is so half-baked that they said, oh my god, we already got the roadmap. We already got the roadmap. 5 years of content. 5 years of content. Oh boy, I'm pre-order our product because we had so many skin packs for you. We've got 3 skin packs just for you. And Rosario Dawson, oh my god, another actor that do gamers care about? No, they don't. Keanu Reeves, I mean, he had a little bit more height in there. He had a little bit more zest, a little bit more snap, a little bit more clout. Rosario Dawson is fine. I like her, especially in Trance. But let's get down to the brass fucking tacks. Nobody cares enough to buy this game based on a celebrity. But oh my god, look at the skin packs, Dylan. Oh my god, look at the clothes packs.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying much. It's just that I have nothing to say anymore, just because I've already said everything that there is to say about this bullshit.
You consume away, partner. Go right ahead and consume. Consume the slop. I've given the reality, I've given the lesson, I've taught the facts, I've told it like it is. I've been indifferent and totally balanced. And people...
The thing is that you can't say this bullshit, because the game isn't out yet and you haven't played it. You know, if I were in Techland's situation, I would be like, alright, bitch, here's the game, play it, see how bad it is, bitch! I mean, you know, that would just be my my way of handling situations like this. Obviously, it's probably not the best way, but I'm sassy. What's the word? Whatever the fuck the word is.
Still tell me, Dylan, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Believe me, I know what I'm talking about.
What was that, like,
Respect
awkward
the authority
pause?
of brass. I always tell like it is. I always keep an even mind. Yeah, I don't like certain things, but that doesn't stop me from telling it like it is, regardless of the situation. I love post-apocalyptic horror. I love first-person shooters where you're actually kind of fucking frightened to die, instead of these games where you're an invincible one-man army. And Dying Light 2 was supposed to be that game. With the allegations against Chris Avellone, and whether he did it or not, he's gone. He was a creative lead designer, right? Or he was at least a narrative lead designer. He had a big fucking chunk, regardless. And now that the scum is gone, the scum has been wiped away. Let's get real here. Who the fuck's in charge? Who's in charge? I guess you guys haven't been looking. Maybe we'll talk about that next time, but I tell you what, the next time we're going to talk about this game, I either have it in my hands, or there is some new news to talk about, because I am quite frankly done. Okay? I've tried, okay? I try to teach the lesson as fair as possible.
I think that he said that in a few videos already. He's already said that he's done. That's just like... He's just like, I'm done with this. I'm so done. And then 2 days later, this is... How long have I been streaming? An hour and 18 minutes. An hour and 18 minutes of bullshit. They said most of his work was done. Oh, Chris Avalon's work? Or Chris Avalone? Avaloo. I just realized, why does he have the Illuminati? This guy is literally just like a fucking conspiracy theorist. Best gaming creator of 2021. We've got Michael Does Life in the title. Let's see, who was the best gaming creator of 2021?
Once again, it's time to get down to it.
Who was the best gaming creator of me? I was the best. I was the best, even though I don't really make gaming content anymore.
And tell it like it is, and acknowledge.
Ooh, he's got a Nirvana shirt. That's actually pretty cool, honestly. I respect him for respecting Nirvana.
Actually bring content to the table.
Then again, he could just be wearing the shirt because he likes the design.
And distribute something that's actually tangible, worthwhile, fruitful, and it actually has some meat on that bone. Unlike so many people who just sit there and eat pasta or dance in a...
Is this Cyberpunk 2077 music that he's playing in the background of this video? I think it might be. Maybe it's just random music.
A hot tub. Holy crap, Twitch is a snooze lord's cringe zone. I basically want nothing to do with Twitch, and that's gonna bring me down to this.
Yeah, me neither,
The
honestly.
top creator, the #1 person bringing content to the table in 2021 was absolutely, without a shadow of doubt, Dr. Disrespect, because he brings violence, speed, and momentum. He also fills the entire show with singing, entertainment, comedy, and intensity. Yeah, he truly brings the content unlike anyone else, and it's time to acknowledge and appreciate the realest of the real.
I haven't watched Dr. Disrespect. I was going to say the best Michael Does Life.
Time, the absolute best in the business, with a rifle in his hands on the Battle Royale battlefield. Not only that, all first-person shooters, I've basically seen this man take it to the next level.
Dylan in the details, welcome back. Not like I know what I'm talking about. I guess...
Yeah, I know this guy. I just don't watch him. Never. got interested in this guy.
Like I know what I'm talking about, but you know, I got no idea what I'm talking about, but design half the maps for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, working AAA students industry for 5 years as well. Excuse me, let me go put these back real quick. Sorry, Alex, I didn't mean to poke you out. Put your eye out. I didn't hit you in the eye, did I? I mean, this thing's heavy. Like, shut.
He's just like flexing his awards.
You know what I mean, Jess? I'm telling you, man, the type of people that we've been running into today, both from the stream snipe, not just from a stream sniping standpoint, but from the actual players, I'm just really disappointed in the gaming industry. I really am. I mean, these are the type of people we are producing in the world.
Always going above and beyond, and he tells it like it is. The game may be boring and have bad audio and bad graphics and graphical detail that dates that of the 360 era and even further back than that. The reality is, he's great at what he does, and it's not just him being great at what he does. He actually shakes it up. He actually changes the content from time to time. Unlike so many people who sit there and eat a fucking tuna salad sandwich, or, oh my god, I accidentally showed my ass to the camera. Those type of creators, please, shut it down, will ya? Actually do something with your channel. Actually do something with the gigabytes that you're taking up. Because frankly, if the content gets old too quick, you're not gonna have no 26,000 people.
Gigabytes. That reminds me. Did you know that the last video that I uploaded is 12 fucking gigabytes on my computer? That is the biggest video I've ever had, and it's the longest, like, actual video that I've ever uploaded, too. It's the fucking, the gameplay analysis of the new Dying Light 2 gameplay.
People watching you. If you're going to really stretch it out and actually go 12 rounds like most people should be doing, you gotta be like Dr. Disrespect and actually have something brought to the table. If it were not for people like Dr. Disrespect, I wouldn't be doing anything on this platform because frankly, it's either an indie, upcoming, soon to become great channel, or it's the biggest and the best of them all. Okay? There's no in-between at this point for me. I can't find a channel that's, you know, in between. If you're a content creator on this channel and you already know me, go down below. The next video we're gonna do is going to be a shout out of all the creators that I know, all of you. So this is the point in the video, guys, where I'm gonna ask you to...
But his next video after this, I'm pretty sure is just the... Yeah. It's literally just the... new Dying Light 2 video. He didn't even do what he promised to do a week ago of saying that he's gonna shout out creators. Oh my god. Man, I need like a fucking break. I think I'm gonna end the stream here for now. I've had enough of Dylan in the details, aka the brass dick. Jesus Christ. See you later, everybody. I will see you tomorrow in the next stream. By the way, I won't be able to stream next weekend. I'm going to be visiting family, so I won't be streaming next weekend. So, sorry about that, but I'll be streaming every day except for probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next... I almost said next month. Next week. But then I'll stream every day after that. Alright. See you all later.